Hi, everyone. I'm late getting started. This day has been kind of wonky. So, welcome. We're doing some cooking together today. We are making some mixed nuts, and I don't have them with me. Hang on. I think it's going to be that kind of a session today. It's going to be, that kind of a session where I'm running around ill prepared. And I need my baking sheet. So, how's everyone doing today? I'm very excited to bring this recipe to you. First, let's talk about winning. I swear sometimes my mouth speaks before my brain processes the words. Winning. Someone won the gift pack from last week. Dreena's Kind Kitchen. What's the word? Kitchen kit. It is. I don't have everything with me. A copy of Dreena's Kind Kitchen, and then the printable, the Kind Kitchen print, and the tea towel and laptop stickers. So the winner is, I don't know your proper name because I only have your YouTube handle name, and it was Olive Ostrich. So you're the winner. Please email me so I can get that out to you. Hello, Lisa. Is it Lisa or Liza? Liza. Hi. Hello, everyone. I'm a little bit cold. We lost our furnace a few days ago, and we're waiting to get the new ones. We have the fireplace is going, and but it's interesting how cold the floors get when you don't have that heat. And it's been an interesting ride. So I'm a little chilly and have the oven on to do this recipe. So I'll probably keep it on all day. So candied nuts. I have made spice nuts before. I hadn't ever made candied nuts. Oh, and to say, rewind, we'll do a draw today. We'll do a giveaway as well today. Okay, so stay around to the end and we'll do a giveaway for my cookbook at the end as well for Dreena's Kind Kitchen. You guys know it. Candied nuts. Here's the thing. When you become vegan, you realize what ingredients are in things that you never noticed before, right? Like you notice that certain foods have this, like why does it have that one small last ingredient of milk in the list of ingredients? Or why are there egg whites in candied nuts? So I wanted to make a candied nuts recipe that would be like that traditional one using egg whites. And these are so good. I'm going to show you. I've just put some in my hand. And this batch I made with pumpkin seeds, so it's kind of dark. You'll see it's like a little bit dark from the pumpkin seeds. But here we go. So you can see like there's the walnut, and it has all of the goodness from the unrefined sugar. You can use date sugar or coconut sugar, and the seasonings. It really like just gets into all those nooks and crannies in the walnut. And look at that, so good. So yeah, I use pumpkin seeds because I really love pumpkin seeds. Look at that. See all the texture? Do you see that? The texture, and you can see that like candied bit on the edge with the sugar and the seasonings. So I really like pumpkin seeds, and I thought I'd add them to my nut mixture. You don't have to, but you could do this with seeds as well. Like if you can't eat nuts for whatever reason, if you have an allergy, you could absolutely do this with pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds. I probably wouldn't use hemp seeds just because they kind of get lost in the mix. And I'm trying to think of anything else you could use. Sometimes people can have peanuts, but they can't have nuts because peanuts are a legume and nuts are tree nuts. They're a different family. So you could use peanuts and seeds. But yeah, you could kind of, maybe there's certain nuts you can use and others that you can. So we're going to get started with the recipe. This is literally what the recipe looks like right now, guys. See these scratches? So that's why the recipe is not posted yet, because this is what it looks like. This is me in the process. Scratches, retries. I know what it means, but that's not going to help you guys. So the recipe will be posted. So please link below and get in the description to sign up for the recipe. It will come straight to your inbox and then you'll have it. Okay. So it's a really simple recipe, and the only like tedious part is waiting for it because the oven bakes it at a really low temperature. I'm thinking you might be able to do it in a dehydrator. I don't have a dehydrator. And I haven't tried air frying, so I feel like that question is going to be asked. But air frying is a really high temperature, and I think it might burn the nuts. I'm not sure. So I'm doing it old school with the oven on a low heat. And hey, that helps this family right now because it's chilly in the house. Okay, so the first thing we need is I'm using a mixer. I'm using a good old stand mixer. This is the KitchenAid. I've had this one for a long time, but you could use a hand mixer if you don't have the stand mixer. A hand mixer will be fine. And what we need, you guys know it before I say it probably, to make this egg white substitute is aquafaba, or brine from a can of chickpeas, or another bean, but really it's usually chickpeas or white beans. And the reason we don't use from another can, like kidney beans, you get a dark brine. From kidney beans or black beans, you're going to get like a reddish, purplish brine from those beans. And pinto beans is also kind of cloudy and dark. So really you want to go with either white beans or chickpeas. And most often recipes will show chickpeas, but white bean brine works just as well. I sometimes prefer it because it's even lighter in color than the chickpea brine. But once you fluff it up, you don't notice. I've actually never tried using kidney brine and whether it would fluff up to being white. Now I'm curious because this is a little bit darker than white bean, but you don't see any color once you make it into you're making it into like a meringue, right? What you would use to make meringues, or, when you're doing like lemon meringue pie, or you want to do those, what are they called? They are meringues, right? That you bake in the oven. Yeah, so you're using the chickpea brine as the substitute for egg whites because someone out there figured out that they have the same protein kind of consistency, and that's why they will produce the same result when you whisk it. So you want to use a whisk, not the paddle attachment. This is the whisk attachment because that will bring a lot of air into the brine, and that's what makes it fluffy. Okay, so we're going to get that going because I've already talked so much. All right. Oh, plug it in. I hope I don't blow a fuse because I also have a light on in the kitchen today. I bought like a spotlight to make it brighter. And between that and the couple of little space heaters we've got going on in the house, we keep blowing fuses. So let's hope this doesn't do that. Let's hope. Okay. Fingers crossed. Okay, I'm going to show you as it starts to froth up and get thick. It's not close yet. It sounds really rattly to me today. I'm just going to see if I can adjust it. It sounds really rattly, and I'm not sure why. It's in there properly. Okay. I'm just showing you, and it's got to get into that, like, sort of like almost a firm set where you get a peak with the mixture. It's hard to describe it when you're not saying egg whites. But when you get a peak with the aquafaba, when it gets that fluffy texture, lots of air is whipped into it. Almost. It's pretty to look at. It's kind of cool. It's really cool how someone figured this out. I don't know if you guys can even hear me talking over the mixer, or if it's just this. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how it looks right now. Okay, so there's our like soft peak. And I like to go a little bit more. Okay, so we're going to go a little bit more. Yeah, now we're good. Now we're good. Exciting TV. I make for exciting TV, right? So now you can see, I didn't even run it maybe another 30 seconds. But see that? It has a peak, it's foamy basically, but it will hold a peak. See? So that's the consistency that I go for with it. Other recipes may call for a little softer or a little bit more, but this works really nicely. Okay, so that's the meringue or the foam from the aquafaba. And then we add our nuts. And I'm using, well, I really like softer nuts in this kind of like candied nuts mixture. So when I say softer nuts, like walnuts, pecans, cashews, I find harder nuts like almonds, I don't know, you can use them. I just find they're really hard for a mixture like this. So I like to go with like a softer nut. I don't really have cashews on hand, but I do have some cashew pieces. So I'm going to throw them in. Why not? And then I'm going to add some pumpkin seeds again. And I just realized I don't have a lot here, but this is the brand I'm using. These are really nice. I used to get another brand and then they seem to go away. They just disappeared. But you see how the pumpkin seeds, they're not like scrawny. They're not little tiny and thin pumpkin seeds. They're quite substantial. So can you see how, well, that worked. See how that worked really well. I'm just going to show you this guy, how thick the pumpkin seed is. It's like got a really nice, like hearty texture. And these ones are lightly salted. They have different flavors too. So these ones have a little bit of sea salt. So if you're using a lot of them, then I would reduce the salt that we add to the mixture. But I love these. The other place you can get these and they're not salted is through Wilderness Poets. And I have that link in the description. There. And I just got a nut facial. I think I need a little bit more, so I'm going to add a few more walnuts. That should be good. And we need a little bit of sugar. Now, I noticed, because I did some digging into other recipes, like the traditional version, and they use a lot of sugar, like maybe 2 cups of sugar to like 6 cups of nuts, which I thought was a lot. I don't want them super sweet, so I'm not using that much. This is about a half cup of sugar, and this is coconut sugar. So date sugar would work well here, as opposed to other times when I say don't use date sugar because it's like not the same. For instance, in the vanilla nice cream or using the Ninja, the ice cream that I did, and people want to use date sugar. I'm like, it's a bit too dark. Here you could, because I'm using coconut sugar, and date sugar would work super well. And then I needed a little bit of salt. Here's my salt. Right now. A little bit of salt in there. I know how much, but I'm just eyeing it. So there we go. And then we need the magic ingredient. Oh, I do add a little bit of cinnamon too. Add a little bit of cinnamon. You got a little bit. Let's use nutmeg today. I added cinnamon in the other ones, but I'm going to add some nutmeg today. So I've got to replace my spices here. So I'm going to use a little nutmeg instead of cinnamon. And then the magic is the vanilla bean powder. Guys, you know I love it. And when I made the first batch of these, I didn't use it. I just used some cinnamon. And then I used the vanilla bean powder in the second batch. And it was like, oh, it just opened up the flavor so much. So here we go. A little vanilla bean powder. So the link for what this is in the description to Wilderness Poets. They have the vanilla bean powder. And it's expensive, but it goes a long way because you use maybe a quarter or a half. Usually I use about a quarter teaspoon in a recipe versus like a teaspoon of vanilla. Okay, so that's all in there. And then we just fold it around, make friends together. There we go. So this is what the magic is that foamy mixture clings to the nuts, like to all the little nooks and crannies. And then the sugar clings into it and the seasoning, and it bakes up, and it's just so good. All right, let's get our baking sheet here. And then just transfer that out. And smooth it around. I made a batch yesterday and I didn't use enough nuts. It was like way too much of the foam. Took forever for it to like just kind of dry out in the oven. So, you know, you can experiment as well. I'll give you the proportions in the recipe. I would have gone another 30 seconds with that aquafaba and make it just a slight firmer foam, and then it will hold even better because it dissolves a bit when you start to work ingredients into it. So there we are. That's all the nuts, and just spread them out. And then you get them into the oven. It's a low oven. Sometimes I like to sprinkle, where's my sugar? I think I put it back in the cupboard. Am I that organized? Did I actually put it back in the cupboard? I don't think I did. Maybe I did. Okay, sometimes I like to sprinkle a little extra on top and then put it in, but you don't have to. And yesterday I used a light sugar, like an unrefined cane sugar, and it didn't work as nicely. The coconut sugar really works nicely, or you could use wheat sugar. Okay, so this is going into the oven at, it's 275, so it's really low. And don't touch it for a while. Okay, there's always that, you know, you want to get in there and flip it around and check it out. Leave it for at least a half hour. I like to leave it for the first 35, 40 minutes and then gently move it around once and then leave it again. Because the magic is in leaving it and everything starts to dry out and like, what's the word? Kind of get all consolidated into the nuts. But it's that drying out. If you keep mixing it around, it doesn't have that same clustery quality, right? As when you leave it. It's kind of like making granola. When you dry out the granola and you just want to leave it, and then as it dries and cools, it gets clustery. Same thing's going to happen, but most of the drying's in the oven, and then you take it out and it still dries and cools afterwards, and then it gets nice and clustery. So here's the finished granola. All right, I just put it in this container, right? And did I say granola? Here's the finished mixed nuts. And like I said, this one's a bit darker because I use the pumpkin seeds, but it tastes amazing. I was like digging into it last night with Charlotte. Look at that one. Look at that walnut. Doesn't that look good? Is that a walnut or a pecan? Yeah, that's a walnut. Just look at, ooh, see all those crevices of goodness. So then you can, you know, eat it straight up, or you could like put it in a little Christmas tin. Let's do some of that. I'm not crafty. So when I do this, it's like me pretending I'm crafty. And also you would make it look way better than I do because I am not crafty. What did I try to glue gun the other day? My daughter was like horrified when I said, do you think we could fix it by glue gunning it? So there we go. There's a little tin. See how beautiful I made that look? And you know, you can put a ribbon on it, or you can put it, I like to use jars. Now I do this for my chocolate bark as well. And I have the chocolate bark video on YouTube. So just go to my channel and search chocolate bark. And I did that video last year. I've already made chocolate bark this year. Oh, I'm going to go get it and show you. Okay, so stay. I'm going to leave the camera. You guys can just look at my kitchen and how it looks like it's clean because I clean it for you. I do clean my kitchen. It's my children who make it constantly messy. It drives me crazy. So yeah, I like to put it in jars like my chocolate bar, because we keep jars all the time from nut butters and jams. And so then if you have the jars and the lids handy, then you can do a little jar like so, and maybe you gift someone some of the candied nuts, and maybe you gift someone the chocolate bark. Maybe you gift someone who's really nice. Oh, you get to choose. And here we go. See, and you put a lid on it and a little ribbon, and you've got like a cute little jar of nuts, right? Okay, but I want to get your the chocolate bark to show you. So, okay, hang tight. I'll let you look at the nuts. That's what I told her. I always have to throw in the office reference. Here we go. Okay, can you see it? Okay, I'll be right back with the chocolate bar. Come on, buddy, go downstairs. Go downstairs. He's all right. The dog followed me up. Okay, so this is how my chocolate bark looks in the, I put it in the garage to keep it cool. This is one container. See, no, because certain people will go into it. And this one says, no, just no, XO mom. Can someone tell me if they can hear me? I'm seeing something saying they can't hear me. Hopefully I haven't done all this video without audio, that you've actually heard me the whole time. So this is the, someone please let me know. My mic is on. Someone let me know, please, that you can hear me. I hope you can. Okay, so this is one version of chocolate bark that I made. I know this video is about, thank you, JD. Like, have I just been jammering the whole time? This one is my cran orange, I didn't know what to call it, cran orange pumpkin seed, ginger pumpkin seed, because it has those 4 things in it. So it has those pumpkin seeds, cranberries, ginger, and then after I finalized or poured out the chocolate bark, I sprinkled on some orange zest. Don't put it in the chocolate bark, it might seize the bark. Just sprinkle anything that has like moistness in it, it will seize chocolate. So I just sprinkle it on after. So here it is, look at that. And I'm supposed to be showing you the mixed nuts, but this is what and it's nice and thin. Look at that. So this is one of my flavors this year. Cran orange, ginger, pumpkin seed, is that what I said? And then this is the other flavor that I did, which is salted rocky road. So I used these mixed nuts. Oh, see, there is a tie-in. I used these mixed nuts, and then I added some marshmallows. Isn't that fun? And then also sprinkled on, I want to get like a nice thin piece here. This is chunkier though. This is chunkier bark. And then when it finishes, I sprinkle on the coarse salt. And I did the same for the other chocolate bark, because chocolate's better with a touch of salt, a little bit of salt. So go to my videos and look for the chocolate bark video, and the recipe's on my site. It's the easiest thing in the world. You just melt the chocolate, and you want to make sure you melt it up over a double boiler, and then pour it onto a baking sheet with parchment, really thin as you can. Oh, and add in your add-ins, pour it out, and sprinkle on the coarse salt, boom. And it's so beautiful to gift. So I did some little baggies. I have these little bags that I got, and then I just put them in these. I had Charlotte write, because she writes much nicer than me. See, look at this. Look at this. Salted Rocky Road. And I usually put one of each in the little gift bag. So that's that. But I did use these nuts in the chocolate bark. So that's kind of like my food gifts that I give. I usually do gingerbread granola, and that recipe's on my site. I forgot to add those in the description, but go to my site, you'll find it. DreenaBurton.com. You'll find the gingerbread granola. You'll find the chocolate bark. And this recipe will be there very soon. But you can also sign up for my newsletter, and it will go right to your inbox. Okay? I said a lot. I know I talked a lot. So there's the nuts. And then you save your chickpeas to use in another recipe, right? Drain off the aquafaba, rinse the chickpeas, and then use them in something else. I think that's it. I'm so glad everyone could hear me. It does look good, doesn't it? The chocolate bark's so good. And that's why I have to put these notes on them. Like, no, just no. They're so bad. They'll go in there and eat it. So I make sure this means business. When I put that on it, they know they can't touch it. That's just how it has to be. So let's do another draw today. If you guys want to win a copy of Dreena's Kind Kitchen after the video airs, go to the comments. So not the chat now. Some of you have chatted here, and that's lovely. But I can't draw a winner from the chat. So afterwards, go to the comments and tell me what your nut mixture will be when you make these. Or maybe you're going to make the bark, and tell me what bark flavor you're going to make. I really love using the pecans and walnuts, and I really think cashews would be super lovely in it too. And the pumpkin seeds. Okay, and I think that's it. I don't see any questions. So yeah, Jamie, if you go to the description, you can sign up for my newsletter, and then you'll get the recipe right in your inbox. Super easy. Yeah. Okay, so see you guys. And then the links are there for, what else did I add the links for? The pumpkin seeds, if you want to check out these ones. They had some other flavors that look nice, for the vanilla bean powder, and then the newsletter. Okay, we'll see you soon. Hope you enjoy the recipe when it comes out. Thanks for watching. See you.